Hi, welcome to Inspiration. My name's Katrina Jockety. On today's show, we chat with Lisa Crothers about interior design ideas and styles. Sophie Roussos sheds some light on financial planning. We talk to the fastest woman to sail around the world, Adrienne Cahalan. Charlotte Terray discusses the do's and don'ts for styling our hair. International chef Valentina Harris whips up a delicious pea risotto. Enjoy the show. Hi, welcome to Inspiration. Today we're talking with Lisa Crothers from Belisa. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Katrina.
So how did you get into interior design?
A friend of mine was a real estate agent and he had a property that needed a makeover, and so he asked me to come along and give some ideas and do the project for him. And so we did, and we also put rental furniture into the property, and then the client who bought the property said that they loved all the rental furniture and they would like to buy it all. So it sort of started from that, and I've always had a passion for interiors, for fashion, for furniture, and they're very closely connected. So the business virtually evolved from that.
So it was obviously you had the talent for it, then you involved the business step by step.
Yes, I did, and it became more doing interior decoration for clients. So they would buy properties, would want someone to come in, a decorator, to give them some advice, and also for people that are I work with people that are very time poor, so they needed someone that could manage the project for them and make it all happen, and that is from the front door to the back door, including towels, sheets on the beds, doona covers, whatever. Yes.
Fabulous. So it seems like a full service business. So what are the main things you do as an interior designer, or what does an interior designer do exactly?
An interior designer works first of all with a client. They form a partnership, and you work very closely together. You become very involved with the person's life and lifestyle, and it's very important to spend time with them to find out what they like, what they don't like, as in colours. A lot of people don't like certain colours. So you work together as a team. We start off looking at the property, of course, and then what their requirements are. So I would go back to the client and give them an idea, room by room, of what I think the property needs. And then we start off shopping. So I'm able to take clients to places that the general public can't get into, and we go for accessories, furniture, absolutely everything, and then the look slowly comes together. And then we organise a day of setup where there might be a picture hanger is required. We might have audio and video equipment that needs to be put into the house. The sheets, the doonas, the pillows, the whole kit and caboodle. And 9 times out of 10, people want to have a fresh start. So they want everything new, from the cutlery to the crockery, etc. So, and I'm usually working with people that are very busy, that are time poor. So it's very important that they feel a trust in me to provide them with the things that they don't have time to go shopping for.
It seems like you have to build a relationship with the client. You have to know everything about them, so you can sort of give them what they want, but using your artistic flair, for example.
Absolutely, that's exactly right. And you become friends because you're working in their very personal space. So I do become very involved in their life.
Fabulous. And what's your style?
I have varied styles, and I think that it's like fashion. Furniture and fashion are very closely connected, and I think when you get to know the person, you actually get to know what their style is, and sometimes we take them out of their comfort zone as well, and show them things that they normally wouldn't dare to look at, but introduce them to things that will add a character to their home. And by that, sometimes it's we have furniture suppliers that will actually bring out furniture and accessories that I will pick, and then we'll put them into the situation. So they'll 9 times out of 10 say, "Oh, I would never have thought that would have worked there,"
And so you must be having a very busy time doing this and always running around. So who supports you in your business?
My husband is absolutely fantastic. He's very supportive of what I do and my business. He does all my the financial side of the business. So without him doing that, I couldn't do it. And I have a family as well. So running my business from home works really well because I can be here when the boys get home from school or university or whatever. And I've been doing this for 9 years now, so it's a long time, and they've grown up with the business as well. So having him as a supportive partner, I couldn't do it without him.
I think that nothing happens in isolation, and it seems like that you have a very good work-life balance.
Yes.
That's really important, especially for a woman in business.
Oh, absolutely. And you have to have a partner that understands what you do and is happy to support you.
So starting your own business, you need to have good support at home and also good support in the business arena.
Absolutely, and that you can trust
Yeah.
to do a good job, because you're only as good as the people that you've got working with you.
So what's next for you?
Well, we've got quite a few projects on at the moment, and my business is something that I put 100% into, and I don't want it to be mass production. I want every client to feel that they're special, that their job to me is special, and not to repeat things. I don't want the same things in every house that I do, or every apartment, or every beach house. So we've got quite a few projects on, and I'm always open to doing different and interesting things to do with decorating.
Thank you so much for joining us, and until next time, be inspired.
Hi, I'm Sophie Roussos. As an investment advisor, I often notice women take a back seat when it comes to their finances. Yet it's your money you work so hard for. Why not get involved? In today's world, investment is a scary concept for almost anyone. Share market crashes, natural disasters, and with no silver lining in sight, where do I invest my funds and what sort of capital security can I be assured of? One thing to note is investment principles remain the same. Adopt an investment strategy that suits you. What is your investment time horizon, and what level of risk are you prepared to accept? A balanced investor, for example, seeks growth over the medium to longer term with no need to access a large portion of their capital during this time. A balanced investor typically invests 40% in defensive assets such as cash and fixed interest, and 60% in growth assets such as shares and property. Over the medium to longer term, a balanced investor can expect to receive a 7 to 8% return per annum on their investment. So, invest according to your profile, and investment doesn't have to be so scary. Get involved, ask questions, talk to a financial advisor.
Coming up next, international chef Valentina Harris whips up a delicious pea risotto. On Inspiration, we're at the Royal Yacht Club at Victoria, and we're talking with the fastest woman to sail around the world non-stop, Adrienne Cahalan. Thank you so much for joining us. You've done some amazing things in your sailing career. 19 Sydney to Hobart, soon to be 20. You're the fastest woman to sail around the world non-stop. What has been your greatest career highlight?
Well, I started as a teenager sailing on Sydney Harbour, and I lived near the water, and I watched a lot of the other people kicking around in boats because I'm not from a family that actually sailed, you know. We tended to go to the beach a lot. And so I started to look at buying my own boat. I saved up my money and I bought my own boat and potted around and started racing. And at the time, there was a handful of girls sailing, but not a huge amount. And so I started to sail on Sydney Harbour and then in the 18-foot skiffs, which was in fact a professional circuit. And then I was sponsored by Ella Bachet. And at the same time, I sailed my first Sydney Hobart when I was 20. And so that began my love affair with the ocean and with sailing. And the first Hobart I sailed in 1984, there was only about 3 or 4 girls in the race. And now, in 2011, there'll be almost half. So it's come a long way, and I'm very proud of that fact that, because the great thing about sailing is it is a sport for life. You can sail until they take you away in a box. And it's so social because men and women sail together and really enjoy the sport together.
That's fantastic. It seems like women have got a great headway into the sport of racing in such a short time. Is it usually a man's game?
It traditionally has been, in the same way that a woman was traditionally the homemaker. You know, now women are more financially secure. They've got the ability to buy their own boat, put their own teams together, or just more confident in going down to the dock and saying, "Hey, do you need a crew?" You know, and you know, back in the old days, superstition was that women were bad luck on boats, you see, along with priests and flowers and things like that. But now, you know, a woman has a wonderful role to play on a boat. Not only does it take some of the testosterone madness out of it all, you know, because it just balances it a little bit more, but also, you know, I think, you know, physically, the fact is biologically men are much bigger and stronger. So they tended to sort of hoggle the roles. But now technology has changed such that there's not as much grunt involved, you know, there's more buttons and more sort of technical ways of achieving the same result, which you used to have a man just pulling hard on something. So that means that there's more opportunities for women. And like myself, you know, I'm only little, but I fulfil the role of all the computers and navigation and electronics, which is a great spot for a woman.
What sort of training do you need to be a good yachtswoman?
Where I started in dinghies, you know, you have to be fit. You got to do time in the gym. I've never been great at the gym, but you know, that's what it's about. It's being fit for the purpose and also match fit. You know, it's important to do as many races as you can because there's a physical side and there's also the strategic side. You know, it's like a game of chess. You've got to work out where the wind's coming from and work out how you're going to beat that other person, and also preparation in terms of equipment, because one little screw comes undone and that's the end of your race, you know, so you have to check everything twice.
How do you keep calm and I don't know, not lose it all when you are in a boat for 59 days, for example, and how do you keep that stamina going?
When I did the round the world record in 2004 with Steve Fawcett, that was probably for me one of the biggest highlights of my career. It's something I'd always wanted to achieve. When I was back 19, like Jessica Watson, I wanted to go around the world solo and break that record, and that was before Kay Coddy actually. But my parents and friends said, no, don't be stupid. And I, you know, in retrospect, they were right, because apart from the fact I probably might not have come back, you know, it's a big step into that world. And so when you go by yourself, it's very different qualities, you know, to when you're sailing with a team for 59 days. And you have to sort of give people space. You have to understand that everyone has their good days and their bad days. You know, if someone's pretty upset or something like that, just leave them alone and they'll come back. And I think it's about patience. But when you did that, I always thought in my mind, if we lose this record by 1 second, I'll never forgive myself. So that just kept driving you. You know, the clock ticking over there, every time you saw it ticking, you'd go, no, we don't want the clock to go faster. And that actually makes the time go really fast.
Because you're thinking about we have to achieve the goal rather than thinking about what you're doing at the moment and how hard it is. What do you think the qualities are that make you successful?
I think it's important that preparation is so important, and to be in it for the long haul. You know, in these days there's a lot about overnight success, trying to achieve goals very quickly, but that's not the way it should be. There's a great sense of satisfaction of spreading a career over a long period of time and taking little steps along the way. And it all comes back to the preparation and your own enthusiasm and drive to succeed.
And do you think it's harder as a woman to get sponsorship and make a living as a yachtswoman or as a sports person?
Just generally at the moment, it probably is, because one thing that when I have the opportunity to speak to journalists about is putting more airtime for women as positive role models in sport. If you open up the papers on the weekend, you'll see football, men's tennis, name them off. And on one hand, they're going, women should be doing this and getting more into sport, but role models are so important in a sport. So they should give more airtime to the tennis players, the surfers who are doing so well, and all these people, so that young women can identify with them. And I think the media's got a huge role to play in opening up that world to women.
And what advice would you give to a woman who wants to start to become a sailor?
Get out on the water, because it's about sailing and getting out there and just walk down to the docks. There's so many opportunities just by asking, and I've always worked on the principle, the phone never rings. It's up to you. Never wait to be asked. Pick up the phone, get out there. Clubs have wonderful crew nights now where you come down and you meet people and get everybody organised. So it's just putting your hand up and saying, I want to be a part of it. Also, not be too precious, because, little tasks that you might start off, you might think you're above, but everybody's got to start somewhere. Everybody's got to make the sandwiches, clean their head, not a nice job. So just be prepared to do whatever you're asked to do, and then you'll gradually gain the confidence to work out where you want to go in the sport.
Great advice. And so what's your next challenge?
Well, at the moment, I'm working with an America's Cup team in Sydney, and that's always been my dream. Back in 1983, when they crossed that line, I was 19 years old, and I'll never forget the day, as I'm sure many Australians won't. And the opportunities come now in Australia that we're looking to put together an America's Cup team, Team Australia Challenge. I'll be probably part of the management team or in a legal counsel role, but to bring the America's Cup back to Australia, that's a great challenge for us, and that's my challenge right at the moment.
Oh, good luck with that, and thank you so much for talking with us.
My pleasure.
And until next time, be inspired.
Steps to have fabulous big hair like you've got Katrina. Always dry your hair off 90% before putting any kind of leave-in conditioner in. My personal favourite is the Moroccan oil, and you use 1 pump of that on 90% dried hair. You rub it in the ends and up to the scalp. It's completely weightless, so it won't weigh your hair down. Then you can start putting some brushes through, but you've just got to remember to always get it 100% dry, because otherwise you'll just lose all your hard work. And my favourite brushes are these ones. They have the ceramic plates, they stay hot, so they act as a roller, so you can wrap them up and leave them in for a little while, and then blow the cold air through it to set it at the end, and then put a tiny bit of the Moroccan oil hairspray in at the end. Give it a little ruffle with your hands, and this will keep it lasting all night. And a little bit in your hands to get rid of any of the frizzy bits at the top. There you go.
It's fantastic. Ready for a big night out?
Yep.
If you would like any more information on any of the tips and segments you've seen on today's show, please go to our website www.inspirationalwomen.tv. important inspiration. Today I'm with Valentina Harris at Front Cooking School, and she's going to be teaching us how to make a sexy risotto. Thank you so much for joining us, Valentina.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure.
So what are you doing now?
Well, okay, risotto is, one of these really basic, wonderful Italian recipes, which I don't think is cooked nearly enough. The most important thing to start with is your very, very finely chopped onion, or it could be a leek or a shallot, any member of the allium family really. You always begin with that. And the cooking fat of choice would have to be butter, purely because this is a dish from the north. And if you believe that a cuisine is defined largely by its cooking fats, then it's all about butter really up in the north. So basically we're going to put the onion and half of my butter, that's about a sort of a knob of butter of about 40 grams. Now, in go the very finely chopped white onions. So, the onion has to soften,
Yes.
but not brown. That's why I've just lifted it up off here, because you don't want it caramelizing really. You want to keep it soft, but definitely no colour in it.
Okay. This dish has very few ingredients and only takes a very short time, so it's something that a busy woman can whip up after work.
Yes, and added to that,
Yes.
it's a fantastic stress reliever, because
Yeah.
actually nobody can interrupt you whilst you're making risotto. It's not one of those things that you can, put on and go and do something
Yeah.
else. You have to stay with it, which sometimes is a good idea. Now the other ingredients are of course the rice itself.
Yes.
This one, as you can see, is called violone nano.
Violone nano.
What makes it different is that it's very chalky. If you rub that between your fingers, you'll feel
yeah.
afterwards that you've got like a talcum powder feel. I'm making it with peas and parsley and parmesan and a vegetable stock.
Yes.
But it could be seafood,
Is this the
it could be
basis of anything?
mushrooms. The basis is always the butter,
Yeah.
the rice,
Yeah.
the onion or the member of the allium family that you've
Yes.
chosen, and your stock.
Okay.
And then your other ingredients vary according to what you've got in the fridge, what you feel like, who's coming to dinner. So,
Yes.
our onions are now soft, and so it's time to add in the rice. And you want about 80 grams of
Okay.
rice per person, okay? And it goes in, you measure it in this very scientific way. Now, crucial moment
Yes.
here.
Crucial moment.
This is called la tentazione,
See?
the temptation. What the rice wants you to do is to add in that stock.
Okay.
You've got to heat all the rice grains evenly all the way through. So it's calling to you. It's like going, come on. Come. You're saying, no, you have to wait. Rice that is born in water must die in wine. In it goes, and this should result in il sospiro. Hear that?
See?
Il sospiro, the sigh. The rice sighs with relief as it finally gets
Get
the
some liquid.
And now you're away. Okay, look, it's a bit like Moses parting the Red
Yes,
Sea
yep.
now. See?
I can see that.
It's starting to happen.
That's a great tip.
There's your wake opening up. And now we'll start with our stock. So at the beginning, you want to really smother it. And now you're going to take it all the way back again. So, in goes more stock. And once again, it is a question of, sort of drowning it really.
Yes.
So, we turn off the heat, and then we add in the butter, the second bit of butter, adding in also the parsley, and now the parmesan, and then you see how much more creamy it's become?
Yes. Very velvety.
So now what happens is you have to rest it.
Okay.
I'm going to cover it with this in the absence of a lid. That'll do. So, one last stir to make sure you're just incorporating a little bit more air in there.
Yes.
And then out it comes onto your plate. So let's garnish it. So I think you should taste it now. Go ahead.
Let's just my practice go.
Yep, absolutely. See what you think.
Buona.
Benissimo. Bene, bene. I'm
grazie
very glad.
mille.
All you need now is a little glass of wine, because rice that is born in water must die.
In wine.
Exactly so.
Grazie mille, Valentina.
Prego, prego.
And thank you, and until next time, be inspired. I hope you've enjoyed the show, and until next time, be inspired.